Welcome back, Rankers. Today we're going to learn all about what happens when moving to HTTPS goes wrong. Okay, so we all know we have to work towards getting HTTPS across your whole site. Right now, in January, we know Google is going to start issuing warnings. They're going to have a little warning up here in the browser that says, this site is not secure if you have a page which has collecting credit card details or collecting passwords and it's not HTTPS. You're going to get a warning on the browser, and that's going to obviously affect traffic as people don't want to stay on a site which has got a message that's saying, hey, it's insecure. And SSL certificates don't cost much, right? So over the last week or so, we've had a couple of clients come to us and say, oh, a hosting company's going to do the SSL for us. Awesome. However, if you get your hosting company to switch you to SSL, you'll probably lose a lot of your Google traffic. I'll show you first an example of a site, which is, now I don't know these guys, just one of their staff members was shopping at this site on the weekend, and we'll just go to one of these links and we'll just add something to our shopping cart. Can't add. Site's a bit slow. The site's already losing money because it's so slow. Okay, so add to cart, right? So you add to the cart and then you go and proceed to the checkout. So this is the page which is going to be taking credit card details on this site. And apart from it being god-awful slow, you can see we don't have any HTTPS. And the little message, and you can see here, this is where they want our credit card details, okay? But we don't have any HTTPS. And this here says your connection to this site is not secure. But there will be a little warning that comes up here actually in the browser where you don't actually have to click that little button, and it will give you that message if you're on a page like this and it's not HTTPS. So one client went HTTPS last week or so and didn't tell us. The web developer pushed them live, and you can see here, hey, look at all these errors. So we have 3,500 URLs not found, which is basically their entire site. Because what happened is that the hosting company applied the HTTPS or the SSL certificate to the domain, but they didn't do any of the redirects. So the very minimum that you've got to do, looks like they've just switched HTTP off. But the very minimum that you have to do is you have to redirect all your HTTP traffic to the HTTPS equivalent page. You can't just redirect everything, say, to the home page of your new HTTPS version of the site. Each individual page needs to be redirected. So, and you can see all these errors appearing here, and this is what happens to the traffic when you do that. So these are our clicks, right? So, we've been pretty happy with the progress of this client, and then kabang, they go and push. And this is the only one that we've had that's pushed, but we've had about 3 or 4 people come back to us over the last 10 days and say, my hosting company can do this, we're just going to buy a certificate, apply it, we're done. No. The other one that we've seen is having both live. We get that one a lot. So what this hosting company did basically was they switched off the HTTP, pushed the HTTPS live, but didn't do any of the redirects. So Google just thinks the site's broken because the site that it knows is full of broken links, essentially, or 404 errors. The other problem that we see is putting both of them live, and then you have an issue of duplication. You have your HTTP live and your HTTPS live, and so which page should Google rank? And in a lot of cases it will decide to rank neither because it's just basically too confusing. So be very, very careful about just switching HTTPS on. There is a lot to do, and if you're on Apache server, or if you're on an Nginx or IIS, you've got to look at your things like your Nginx config files, your Apache.htaccess file, your web config files on IIS, and you've got to make sure there's no HTTP references in those files as well, and making sure all the references in there are all HTTPS. There's a lot to do, a lot of little things that can go wrong. So just be really careful if your hosting company says, yeah, sure, we can do that, or even your web developer, and hey, I know a lot of web developers, love them, got some here. But typically, unless you've done this before, you may get yourself into trouble with your Google traffic. Hopefully that's helpful, and look, thank you to everyone for their support this year. I hope you guys have a safe and happy Christmas, and I haven't planned this, so I'm just going to see what the staff do. Hey, can everyone just say Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, everybody!
Thanks. That was them. Thanks, everyone. See you next year. Bye.